Sitting on the park bench, eyeing little girls with bad intents. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome to the Better Each Day podcast radio show with Bruce Hilliard. Today and every day, reaching out for innovative ideas in every way. Today's show is brought to you by your future. It comes with a lifetime guarantee.
Ooh, make a better stay now, baby.
Aqualung, one of the greatest albums of all time. Aqualung is a reference to the ragged old guy that's on the album cover, a homeless guy with a respiratory ailment that caused him to sound like he was breathing through an aqualung or a scuba regulator. Aqualung is the nickname for the man on the album cover. It's meant to describe his struggling breathing sound. In fact, scuba was used to produce Darth Vader's breathing sound on Star Wars, to make it sound like he had COVID. Here's some inside information for you. The names Darth COVID and Scuba Vader were considered but didn't stick. Nah, I made that up. The names were never considered. Hi, and welcome to the Better Each Day podcast. I'm Bruce Hilliard with a special guest, Mr. Martin Barre, lead guitarist of one of the greatest progressive rock bands of all time, Jethro Tull. In fact, they were progressive rock before the term prog rock was fashionable. Martin is here to talk about old times and his latest release, 50 Years of Jethro Tull. Jethro Tull has sold an estimated 60 million albums worldwide with 11 gold and 5 platinum albums among them. On Friday, November 6th, The Store for Music, that's a record label, The Store for Music will proudly release worldwide Martin's new album and double CD entitled 50 Years of Jethro Tull. What a pleasure it is to have Martin Barre with us. When I was first learning guitar, this is before I had a driver's license, I was listening to you. And I emulated a lot of the things that you do. And I can't say I sound like you, but I totally get it.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. You've got to sound like yourself.
Yeah.
You need independence.
And you'd probably agree with this. If you pick up somebody else's guitar, you're not going to sound like them, you know.
I found that out at a very early age, yeah. And I also found out that a great guitar player sounds great on anything, not just his own guitar.
Yeah, so, I agree.
Yeah,
one of the first things I heard you do was da 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 da. How'd you come up with that lick?
Well, it's pretty simple. You just have to analyze it. It's a sort of a back to front riff. It's if you play the lowest note up to the highest note, all will be revealed. It's just a pentatonic, classic pentatonic notes, but played the wrong way round, given a bit of English.
Put into musical theory terms, I guess, yeah. And the song kind of modulates, and then it comes back to, I guess it's in G. Yeah.
It's a long song. It's even when we play it live, it's funny. It's not one of the big tracks anymore. We play it live, and I mean, in the old days, people went crazy over not to. We're not playing it very well. It's got nothing to do with that, but the way people react to all the other songs, you can gauge it, and it's not a biggie. I don't know why. I think it's because it's got lots of sort of stop-start. People don't really get into the groove with it, but I mean, people like it, but it's not a crowd stopper.
I would think it would be, but who knows?
Yeah, you would think so. You think everybody would go, "Wow, that's amazing." I mean, it gets a good reaction, but you couldn't end the set with it. It couldn't be an encore because it's not quite enough.
Could we jump in the time machine and go back to when you were just putting the band together? Were you in the band before it was Jethro Tull?
No, I was in the band after it was Jethro Tull. But I would like to go back to those days because I can't explain why. I mean, I'm a very happy person now, and I love playing. It's all sort of much more controlled, but I don't know, something about those days that were just, it was exciting, and new experiences, and travelling was such a treat. Going to all these new places I can remember so clearly what it was like. I do miss it because places change and travel changes, and it'll never be like that ever again. Well, it might be actually. Things might go back to the Stone Age. But I think they were great days, and I had a lot of fun, and I was very proud and pleased to have been a child of whatever it was, the 60s.
Absolutely, that it can never be recaptured. I guess it's like the souffle. Once it's fallen, it can't return.
Yeah.
Did you meet your wife while you were touring, or because I know she's from Mississippi?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we were in the sort of mid-70s, and it was the only time we ever played in Jackson, Mississippi. Because you can imagine, it has different musical tastes traditionally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and she had no idea who we were or what we were, but she was working in the airport because a friend was ill. So she was just doing, like one day in the airport as a favour, and that was the day we had a day off, and we went through the airport, and we all flocked round her because she's a beautiful lady and still is, and I got the upper hand. I went back to pretend that I'd dropped something. I went back and I got a date. We went to the cinema. In true American tradition.
You got the idea to do 50 years of Jethro Tull. That must have been quite an undertaking.
Yeah, well, the main anniversary had passed. The 50 years would have been 2018, and nothing happened. I have to say, if it was me in the driving seat, and I had control over the record companies and the management of everybody, not just my band, I'd have had a huge party, press, live concert, a big thing. It needed something special happening, and nothing happened. Zero. So I thought, well, the next year is my 50th anniversary, 1969. And I thought, what, I'm actually going to do something because if it's not important to the band, then the 50th anniversary, my 50th anniversary is really important to me. So that sort of jump started the idea, and I wanted to have a really good product to celebrate it. I just, a lot of bands would just sort of chuck together some old tracks and repackage it with a big 50 on the front, and just lazy. But no, I wanted to go to a lot of trouble to make something special for the fans that have kept loyal to me in particular.
It sure is. It's great. I read it had to do with Jimmy Page. Led Zeppelin was recording Led Zeppelin 4, I believe.
Yeah,
and you were working on, I believe, Aqualung at the time.
Yeah, he walked into the studio. We hadn't seen them. That they just hidden away, as we were buried in the studio in recording it. And he obviously had a break and came up to say hi. And it's this huge room. And the control room was sort of up above the main studio floor area. And he came in, and I saw him. I was in the middle of the solo for Aqualung, and in those days, one take, maybe two, but probably not one take. That was it. And he was sort of waving madly out the window to say hi, and I just had to ignore him. Just thinking, I can't stop now. Sorry, Jimmy. But the nice guys, and they did a lot for Tull's career, because we did a tour supporting them, and I mean, literally we had sort of 20 square feet of stage for half an hour every gig, and we worked really hard for the audience, but really it made us, because the next time we went to the States, we were headlining.
Wow. And you've worked with, there's a list of people here: Pink Floyd, Fleetwood Mac, Jimi Hendrix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was Jimi Hendrix like?
Incredibly nice person, humble, a gentleman, friendly, very helpful, like really sympathetic, and just not what you might expect of somebody of such greatness, but a really nice person, and really nice to me. He was actually very, very nice.
Always seems to be the really great ones are very humble people, as you are.
Well, it's a lesson, when you meet somebody like Hendrix, and he's like that, you just think, that's a role model. And then you, the other extreme, you just meet somebody who you admire, and they're just so full of ego. You just think, I wish I'd never met you. And it's happened to me. And even one or two people I've met, I've disliked them so much that I don't listen to their music anymore. So it works both ways, but I know which side I adhere to. There's no reason to be anything but, really, Hendrix was normal.
Yeah.
His behaviour was normal, and essentially there's no big deal in being a nice guy. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's the way that 99.99% of the planet behaves. But yeah, I've never suffered ego. And there's enough of it around to learn from it.
So I listened to what I've got, the MP3s I was sent from your management. Yeah, and I couldn't select which ones to use. Of course, I'm familiar with Hymn 43, and For a Thousand Mothers has some really good guitar work on it. It all does. It's like I'm saying, I couldn't really select what to use. So do you have any favorites you want me to put on this?
Well, I like A Thousand Mothers. I like playing it. It's great tempo, and nice to play guitars with Dan. A lot of interaction.
Did you hear Mother saying I'm wrong, but I know I'm right? Did you hear Father calling my name into the night, saying I'll never be what I am now, telling me I'll never find what I've already found? It was they who were wrong, so for them, here's a song. Did you hear, baby? Come back and tell you the things he's seen. Did it surprise you to be picked up at 8 in a limousine, doing the things he's accustomed to do, which at once seemed like a dream, but now it's true. And unknowing you made it happen this way.
I mean, I sort of stand by it all. That there's nothing on there that I don't think is 100% what I like and what I love, and everything had to earn its place on the CD. That there's nothing there that I filled a space with, and to the contrary, that they. I wanted it to be something really a step up from most ideas of putting an album of old tracks together. It's so very often a pretty quick and thoughtless task. But I've made sure that we re-recorded everything from scratch, and did it live as we possibly could.
It was done with two former Jethro Tull members, correct? Clive Bunker and Dee Palmer?
That 4 tracks are, not all of it, because the main bulk of the album was recorded at Factory Underground, and that's just the Martin Barre band. And then the 4 bonus tracks are from the DVD that's going to come out hopefully before Christmas. And that's live in Edwardsville in May 2019, and that's with Clive Bunker and Dee Palmer. So the bulk of this CD was available at the gigs. So a lot of people have this CD anyway, but the general release has the 4 bonus tracks. It wasn't so people would buy it again. It's just that it's different, and the original one has sold out, so that there are no more of them. But the band with Dee and Clive will be on the DVD.
Whose voice am I hearing on vocals? It's very good.
Dan Crisp, and he's played with me 7-8 years with the Martin Barre band. Is the first sort of success story for my band, because I knew Dan because he lives nearby, and I'd worked with him on his music, funnily enough. And then I had a vocus that wasn't really dedicated enough. So I'm looking for somebody else, and who's right literally under my nose. Have you thought of working with Dan? Wow, no, I haven't, and it was perfect. Dan plays great guitar. He's got a really strong voice, and he's got a lot of charisma on stage. So it's a great front man, and I don't want to be the front man. I want them all to be. I want them all to have it to be a traditional band the way they were back in the 70s. It's like 4 guys, each with a 25% part to play.
Oh, Father high in heaven, smile down upon your son, was busy with his money games, his women and his gun. Oh, Jesus, save me. him in the city. And on the mountains of the moon, yeah, his cross was rather bloody, and he could hardly roll his stone. Jesus saved me.
You're so right about the era, though. I think some of the best music I ever heard came out of that era, and it was such a ritual to buy an album with the artwork on it. Like the artwork on you guys' records were awesome, but you don't get that anymore. You know, and it used to be you'd call your buddies up and say, "Hey, I got a new album," and they come over and you take the cellophane off, and you know, it's really cool.
Oh, I know. Well, me included. But well, the DVD, this album is done by the record label. But the DVD has got a very special cover, which I won't tell you what it is. But when you see it, I hope you'll think it's really cool. It's something special, and we've been working on it for about a month. So sort of put back production, but again, I want something that somebody wants to own and put on their shelf and take it apart, look at it, all the photos. It's like the old days, and it's something that's nice to own. I know most people download files, but again, the DVD will only be available on the website. It's not a sort of general release. So it's like a gift, a Christmas gift for a Tull fan. But I hope people will like what I've done.
You could leave me with that teaser. I'm going to thank you so much for your time, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna grab that one.
Okay. Now, have you heard the track on Roads Less Travelled? It's called Seattle.
No, I have not.
Ah, well.
I know, I haven't. I
don't have to say anything else.
Okay, I'm all over it.
But I wrote a song about Seattle. Oh yeah, just throwing it in. I'm not going to explain it. You might not like it, but it's by coincidence. Yep. I don't think I've written a song about a town before, and the one I have, it just doesn't happen to be. It was because I have a lot of stories and memories from Seattle, so I put them all together in a song.
Humming a Zappa tune. Take me back to the northern lights. Music lives here in this Pacific paradise. Take me back to the northern lights. Music lives here in
Seattle's due for a song. We've had some problems here between COVID and riots and all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, oh well, yeah, it's definitely not about that side of it. But yeah, so there's references that are probably not very subtle, but obviously Hendrix is part of it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just sort of things to do with Seattle that not everybody would know. But anyway, I'll leave it with you.
Okay. Again, thank you so much, and I look forward to everything that you just mentioned. So great.
Thanks so much. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Sitting on the park bench, eyeing little girls with bad intent. Snot's running down his nose, greasy fingers smearing shabby clothes. Hey, Aqualung, drying in the cold sun, watching as the pretty panties run. Hey, Aqualung, feeling like a dead duck, spitting out pieces of his broken love. Oh, Aqualung, sun streaking cold, an old man wandering lonely, taking time the only way he knows. They're curtain bad as it bends to pick a dog end. It goes down to the bark and warms his feet. Feeling alone, the armies of the road, salvation and a mood and a cup of tea. Aqualung, my friend, don't just start away uneasy. You poor old sod, you see it's only me. Do you still remember the December's foggy freeze, when the ice that clings onto your bed was screaming agony? Hey, and you snatch your rattling last breaths with deep sea diver sounds, and the flowers bloom like madness in the spring. Sun streaking cold, an old man wandering lonely, taking time the only way he knows. Leg hurting bad as he bends to pick a dog end. He goes down to the bark and warms his feet. Feeling alone, the armies of the road, salvation and a mode and a cup of tea. Aqualung, my friend, don't just start away uneasy. You poor old sod, you see it's only me. Oh, Aqualung, my friend, don't just start away uneasy. You poor old sod, you see it's only me. Sitting on the park bench, eyeing little girls with bad intent. Snot running down his nose, greasy fingers smearing shabby clothes. Hey, Aqualung, drying in the cold sun, watching as the pretty panties run. Hey, Aqualung, feeling like a dead duck, betting out pieces of his broken luck. Hey, Aqualung, ow.
Make it better stay now, baby. Oh, better in every way.
You've been listening to the Better Each Day podcast radio show with Bruce Hilliard. We'll be back with a new horizon, but until then, honor the future. It comes with a lifetime guarantee.
And we're all just trying to make the next day a bit better.